Look, if you got $1,000 every 2 weeks for free to buy anything you ever wanted within 10 days, would you spend it or just let it slip? Yo. How's it going, everybody? I'm Jim. If you got the reference to that intro, then definitely smash the like button right now. I thought it'd be kind of cool. I don't know, it just kind of came to me, you know? That's what happens sometimes. You just gotta roll with it. But seriously, guys, $1,000 every 2 weeks for free with one condition, and that is to simply spend it within 10 days. Could you do it? I think so.
Challenge accepted.
This is the newest stimulus plan idea presented by the one and only Mark Cuban. Now, let's be clear here, guys. This is an idea. This is not a proposal. This is not going to get voted on. Okay, I don't want to mislead you guys like some other people do, okay? This is an idea, but it's a very good idea. And what makes this idea very unique is that it is probably the best idea that has been proposed overall against the other proposed ideas. I'm going to tell you why. And you know what, guys? What the heck? Why not share this video too? Share it with your friends. I really want to make it so Mark Cuban sees this, and I want to get his response to this. I think it'd be pretty cool. You know, I think this could be a thing. So if you guys share this video with a bunch of people, as many people as you know, might have a good shot of getting it out there. Now, not only will this thing have the greatest impact on the economy, and not only will it provide Americans with steady stimulus income, but this would be the plan that gets America back on its feet. This is the plan that brings America back to life. This is the plan that saves all the businesses out there that are struggling really hard right now. This plan will allow Americans to pay their rent, pay their mortgage, catch up on their bills, and pay off their debt. And it's the most cost-effective yet. Now, I found this article on Market Watch. I will link it below in the description if you guys like to read the whole thing. But I'm gonna go over all the key points with you guys, break this thing down, share you my thoughts and opinions, because, well, that's what we do on this channel, right, guys? I mean, I do all the research, I do the reading, I make the videos, and you guys do all the smashing of the like buttons, right? That's how we do things here. And you know what? It's worked out pretty well so far. Now, whoever out there right now does not know who Mark Cuban is, he's an American entrepreneur, billionaire. And he's also the owner of the Dallas Mavericks basketball team. He's an incredibly smart and successful businessman. You guys probably recognize him from the show Shark Tank. Yeah, not bad, right? That came out pretty good. I even got the little teeth. I got the teeth, you know, the bite marks. Okay. So Mark Cuban has been sharing his thoughts and opinions and ideas throughout this whole crisis, right? About all this mess that we're dealing with right now. But this new idea he shared really caught my interest. This is to give every household in America $1,000 every 2 weeks, as long as they can spend it in 10 days. Now, his biggest point about this whole thing, and not just this article, but in general, is that no amount of loans is going to save businesses and jobs long term, okay? Yeah, sure, giving the aid for them now to help float their business is definitely helpful, but to have these businesses actually survive and go into the future, there's no amount of money that you could float a business like that for. You need actual, raw, genuine, valued, you know, loyal customers. Well, that was a lot of words, but you know what I mean, right? You need real people spending their money. Now, Mark Cuban says the PPP, the Paycheck Protection Program, was a great program, but it had its own difficulties on its own, right? And mainly the reason for that would be the banks prioritizing who's getting this money and giving it out to businesses they should not have been, over 500 employees. But that's another thing. We're not going to get into that in this video. He says that the only thing that will save businesses is consumers' demand, and no amount of loans will save them if their customers are not buying. Mark recommends that we come up with transitional job programs, which we would then hire millions of people for federal tracking, tracing, and testing program. He said we need to dent unemployment with stable jobs. Think about this, guys. There are currently 36 million people filed for unemployment right now. Many more than that are without a job, right? Even if America were to reopen tomorrow, open up all the doors and say everybody go back to work, there's still gonna be millions and millions of people without a job permanently, right? A lot of businesses have gone under. They're gone. A lot of restaurants are closing permanently. There's going to be a lot of people without a job. Jobs fix the economy. Having people on unemployment makes things worse. Having unemployed people makes things worse. So what Mark is suggesting here is to give those people jobs. I mean, it's pretty simple and straight out in front of your head there. Look, the problem is people are unemployed because there's no jobs. So Let's give them jobs and they will be employed. Easy solution. We just gotta make the jobs. Now that's phase one of this plan, right? I mean, creating the jobs is good. You gotta reopen the country. That's good. That's how we get all the gears turning, the economy moving again. But now people need money to spend on these businesses in order to do that, right? Well, where are they getting this money from? Because for the past 2 months, everybody's been out of work and all they've gotten was a $1,200 check and some people didn't even get that. That's where Mark Cuban's plan comes in. $1,000 will be sent to all 128 households in America every 2 weeks for 2 months straight, with one rule being that you have to spend it within 10 days of receiving it. Let me say that again, guys. Every household in America. Which means this doesn't matter if you make $10 an hour, it doesn't matter if you make $1 million in a year, and it doesn't even matter if you're Jeff Bezos, increasing your net worth by $33 billion since the start of the Rona outbreak. Yeah, let that sink in for a minute. The point is, everybody gets this money. Now, like I said, he's suggesting that this program goes on for 2 months. So if it were to go on for 2 months, that's 4 payments of $1,000, meaning the maximum household will get $4,000. Now, before you jump on your keyboard and say,
well, the Heroes Act said we could get up to $6,000.
Yes, you may get up to $6,000, but you may not. Let me explain. If you're a single person living on your own, you're only gonna get a $1,200 check through the Heroes Act if that goes through. $1,200, done, one-time payment, boom. But with Mark Cuban's plan, you're gonna get 4 payments of $1,000. You're gonna get $4,000, which means you're gonna make $2,800 more with Mark Cuban's plan than the Heroes Act. And yes, if you are a household with 2 adults and 3 children or 3 dependents, max amount you'll get from the stimulus check is $6,000 if that goes through, and the max for this would be $4,000. So across the board, I mean, I think it's still pretty good. Okay, and believe me guys, that stimulus check with the Heroes Act, if that goes through, is only gonna be a one-time payment. I don't even think it's gonna go through, to be honest, but that's another video, okay? But there's no way it's gonna turn into a monthly recurring thing. You gotta ask yourself, what would you rather have? Would you rather have a lump sum up front, or would you rather have it trickle it in over time? Meaning every 2 weeks, you get another $1,000 into your bank account. I think the reason why Mark is suggesting you do it this way is because it'll force and provide a steady trickle into the economy, versus if you gave everybody a lump sum of $4,000, that's going to go away very quickly. Everyone's going to spend that all at once, and it's not really going to do what we want to do. It's going to spike up and then go back down. We want to gradually go up and kickstart this thing, So if you were to give people a little bit at a time, then now you are in control on how much they spend and how much goes into the economy, and in what periods of time. So I think in this scenario, trickling it into the economy will go a lot further. I think this is a genius idea, guys. I mean, having this waves of payments every 2 weeks will force you to budget out and force this money to be trickled into the economy, as long as you spend it within 10 days. I mean, whether it be your rent, your mortgage, if you got any debt, credit cards, those are probably the smartest things to do right now with this money, because it's a great opportunity to get ahead of your debt. But if you don't have any of those things, then yeah, go buy a new toy, buy a new TV, buy a new PlayStation or something, whatever you want to buy with it. Plan a vacation, go on a trip. You take the money and invest it. Actually, I'm not sure if the investing one would work, because they said you have to spend the money. But I guess if you're buying shares into a company, then you're spending it. So I think that would work, right? What do you think? Now, what about the cost? Well, like I said before, $1,000 every 2 weeks for 2 months, that's $4,000. And if we did $4,000 times 128 households, that gives us a total of $512 billion.
Whoa, that's like a lot of billions.
Not so fast, guys. Take a look at these other plans that we have in place right now, these other proposals. The Emergency Money for the People Act coming in at $2.8 to $6 trillion, depending if it's 6 months or 12 months, right? Then we have the Rent and Mortgage Cancellation Act, which would be $1.7 trillion. And then we have the Automatic Boost to Communities, $8.5 trillion. And to top it off from our friend Bernie Sanders, the Monthly Economic Crisis Support Act, coming in at $12.6 trillion. Okay, so you park $500 billion next to all these, it doesn't look so bad. And I know those numbers over here, guys, may be a little bit shocking to you, and if you don't believe me on the cost for those, then go check out my videos. I'll link them in the description below. I have a video on every single one of these programs right here, giving you the full breakdown on how I arrived at those numbers. And what I've noticed is the numbers that they report on the news and when they go through these proposals, they're not very accurate and they're not really open and telling you everything about it. So you might want to go check those out down in the description. But do that after this video. Make sure you finish this video first. So, $500 billion ain't so bad, right? But what would this thing even do? Well, here's the deal, guys. America has never had to shut down. America also has never had to reopen. So we don't know the impact of what we're facing with right here. And, we could compare it to, the past recessions and the World War II and all that stuff, but this is a whole new ballgame here, I mean, we're being constricted because of a virus, right? So it's really hard to predict the long term and, the impact on all businesses until we actually go through this thing. However, one thing we can predict, which is probably pretty accurate, is that non-essential businesses are going to struggle pretty damn hard. I don't know if I could say damn on YouTube, but I said it anyway. Please don't hate me. Okay, now the essential businesses are probably gonna be fine, right? Like they have been. Any grocery stores, gas station, hardware stores, basically anything that's open right now, they're gonna do just fine because they're essentials. But the non-essentials, maybe not so much. I'm talking gyms, movie theaters, salons, spa places, shopping centers, hotels, vacation areas, anywhere that people don't need to spend money is a non-essential place, a non-essential thing, right? And people don't really have much money to spend right now. That's why you gotta save your money, and well, you get the idea there. So Mark Cuban said that this plan would allow the demand for non-essential products and services to increase, hopefully keeping most businesses alive as we learn the impact of reopening is on the spread and whether or not employment grows organically. And that is the most important word right there, is the last word, organically. Like I said before, you could fund a business all you want, but unless you got customers going in there spending their money, the business isn't anything. You need real people to go spend their money. That's the only way this works. I also thought it might be worth pointing out that some people in the country own multiple houses, but the total number of houses in the US is 128 households. So I don't know if those people owning multiple properties would get multiple checks. If you owned 3 houses, would you get $3,000 every 2 weeks? If you have 10 rental properties, it's $10,000 every 2 weeks. Don't know about that. This is just a thought floating in the air right now. But it's a good thing to point out. Mark, if you're watching this, you should let us know. The last thing that the article mentions is that Mark Cuban's name has been brought up as a potential candidate for president. He says that he's never really considered running for president until about a month ago. I mean, he's not actively trying to pursue it, but he's keeping the door open. Cool idea. You never know where things lead you. You never know what's going to happen in the next coming months. So I think it's pretty interesting to see. I'm not sure if he means by, for 2020 or 2024 or after that. Who knows? But I think it's pretty interesting. He's a very successful businessman, and that's what a president needs to be. Simply because running the country is like running a business. Anyway, guys, let me know in the comments below what you think of this plan. Should it be a thing? And I want to know what you would spend your money on. So go right in the comments right now. What would you spend your money on if you got $1,000 every 2 weeks? I'd love to get some feedback from you guys. I know a lot of people are struggling with bills and putting the food on the table, and some people are just fine and they want to treat themselves. But really curious to see. Not to mention, we've all been locked up for a pretty long time now, almost 2 months. So maybe it's time to go on a little trip. Don't forget to hit the like button on this video, guys. It really helps out the algorithm and it really benefits my channel tremendously. I greatly appreciate it. So smash the like button, turn it blue, and definitely subscribe to see some more videos, because the truth is, if you made it this far in the video, then you obviously liked it. So why not just subscribe? The little red rectangle right down there. With that said, guys, I wish everybody stays safe and healthy during this crazy time that we're living in right now. And if you're struggling out there with finances, you're waiting on your stimulus checks or other financial aid, just be patient, hang in there, stay strong, guys. Good things will come your way. I wish the very best to all of you. Thank you for watching. I'm Jim Leadus, and I'll see you on the next one. Dun 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 dun.